Well, hi everybody. General Jeff reporting for duty, coming at you with another YouTube video. Today we're going to be talking about some Warzone tips and how to improve your gameplay and your settings and just giving you an overall better gaming experience. What you're going to hear right now are some unique, brand new tips you ain't seen anywhere else, and I guarantee it. If you have seen these tips somewhere else, let me know, because it means they were stolen. I came up with these myself. These are 100% General Jeff original tips, and anybody that wants to steal them and publish them as their own is going to have to deal with me. That's General Jeff's intellectual property. These loadout tips and configuration tips are all sponsored and copyrighted by the General Jeff channel, so unless somebody wants to get in some legal trouble, they'd be best not to be sharing these tips on their own channel. You come right to the source, General Jeff Gaming, tell you all about them. Here we go. Our first tip, and this one should be obvious. I see a lot of people asking me, Jeff, what graphics card should I get? What mouse should I get? Should I get myself a fancy new monitor or a new power supply or some of that memory? I say no. Does the computer you have now run the game? Well, if it does, then don't change nothing. You're going to spend way too much time getting a new computer. It's going to be so good, and you ain't going to be getting used to it yet. You're going to have so much trouble, and you're going to be getting buyer's remorse thinking, why did I spend all this money on this dang computer and I can't kill nothing? Well, it's because you're used to your old computer. Do not upgrade your computer. All these companies that make these hardware components want is your money, and you work so hard for it. Don't do it. Do not upgrade your computer. Another thing I see people doing is overdoing it with the cooling solutions on their computer. You got all these fancy fans and these water coolers and all this crazy stuff, these radiators and these heat sinks and these thermal pastes, and I just can't stand it. All you're going to need is a regular fan on your computer processor, and that's it. If you need more airflow in your case, well, then open up the side of it. Get it some fresh air. Honestly, computers run better when they're warmed up. Would you take your car out and go on the road and drive it really hard if it wasn't warmed up? I wouldn't either. What you need to do is let your computer warm up. Let all those juices get flowing and let everything get nice and lubricated and warmed up so it's ready to be pushed really hard. But do not, I repeat, do not make your computer too cold. It needs to be warmed up. And do not push it too hard once you first start it up. Let your computer warm up. Unless you want to start breaking things inside there, trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Another tip that Jeff's going to give you is actually one that's just for big map. Well, you'll notice that once you jump out of that plane, unless you're playing ranked, you're going to be hearing a lot of shooting and grunting and people dying and getting shot and things like that, and you don't want to be one of them. What you want to do is make it to where your teammate marked a contract, and to do that, you got to stay alive. Well, if you want to stay alive, don't cut that shoot. My saying is, you cut the shoot, you get shoot. Stay as high as you can when you jump out of that there plane, and anybody trying to shoot at you, as long as you just wiggle a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, they ain't going to be able to kill you. And they're going to be way too low to get more shots on you, and they're just going to scamper off, and you'll be perfectly safe. What you don't want to do is start panicking and cutting that shoot. You want to stay as high as you can until the situation is safe. You definitely don't want to end up in the gulag before you get a chance to even land on the ground with your teammates. So, like I said, cut shoot, get shoot. Stay high when you get out of that plane, and stay safe, live to see another day. Another thing I see way too many people doing is sliding during these gunfights. How are you supposed to slide and shoot your gun at the same time accurately? It's too hard. Also, all you're going to do is slide right into somebody's aim assist. You're going to jump right into his crosshairs, and all the guys are going to have to do is shoot, and you're dead. You made it way too easy for them. So, what I think people need to be doing more is get your feet underneath you, get your feet flat and sturdy, and stop with all this moving around when you're shooting. If you don't move when you shoot, you're going to have a lot easier time aiming your gun. It's as simple as that. Another thing you're going to want to do is get yourself set up with a good RGB color scheme. This right here, we got some red, white, and blue, but it ain't for the United States, it's for the great state of Texas. You're gonna need yourself a nice immersive color scheme because your color scheme is your gaming identity. Don't do none of these default rainbow nonsense. You're going to want to get yourself all set up with the colors that you're going to need to show who you are as a gamer. Right here, you learn you don't mess with Texas. Now, another tip I want to tell y'all is about loadouts. A lot of y'all be putting together all these fancy custom loadouts with all these custom attachments, but you seem to be overlooking that there's perfectly good default loadouts right here. No need to detune your guns and undo all that hard work that the developers did where you can get a perfectly good loadout with something like a Jackal and an ABR in the Commando loadout or some other default loadout that lets you snipe, but don't waste your time leveling up all these guns, building all these custom loadouts, and dealing with all the crazy ins and outs of the interface. Just go land and use a default loadout. You'll be thanking me later. Your KD will jump at least by 5 times the amount. Another thing Jeff's been noticing lately is all these gaming setups where everyone's sitting nice and comfortable, but a little bit far from their monitor. And I say to myself, why would you sit so far from your monitor if you're trying to shoot someone that's so far away? Your monitor should at most, be 18 inches from your face. Seriously, unless you got some kind of binoculars on or some kind of bifocals, you ain't gonna be seeing nothing in any of these games unless you really get your face up into that monitor. So, like I said, 18 inches, maybe you could push it to 24 inches if you got really good vision or if you're farsighted or something, but 18 inches is the ideal distance to be sitting away from your monitor if you want to be able to see all them things floating around and all the guys you got to be shooting and all the loot you got to be picking up. There's a lot of things going on. You don't want to miss it. Again, this is actually common sense. I'm not trying to sound condescending by saying it this way, but you definitely don't want to be sitting far away from your monitor if what you're trying to be shooting is right there. Just get in there, look real close, and take that sucker down. Another thing I see way too many people asking is, Jeff, should I have some kind of balanced loadout? Should I use maybe a sniper rifle and a sniper support AR, like an AR with no optic? Or should I maybe use an SMG and then maybe an assault rifle with a 2X or 3X? No, you should not be doing that. You need to take all your eggs, put them in one basket, and get 2 SMGs, or 2 assault rifles, both with optics or both without optics, or 2 sniper rifles. Yes, I said it. If you're going to be the quote unquote sniper on your team, I don't see you getting that job done with only one sniper rifle. You're going to need to put a slightly different sniper rifle in your secondary slot. Maybe one of them's got a bit more damage range and the other one just maybe a little bit more bullet velocity. I don't care. Just don't be making these balanced classes. Stop playing it safe. Go for it. You ain't gonna get any kills if you don't go for it. Another trick I like to use is actually one that I haven't seen recommended by nobody else. So let's say you're in one of these situations where you need some range on one of your guns, but you only got like a 2X or an iron sight gun. Well, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put yourself in the settings menu, go down over to the display, and change that FOV. You're going to want to change it down to 60. 60 will turn any gun you got into a sniper rifle. Get out the menus, back into the game, and look what you got. You got a sniper rifle that can shoot way further and see way better than anything that you were running under that dang 115 or 120 FOV all you kids are using. Put it down to 60, get some good shots, take the guy down, and then switch it back. It ain't that hard. Well, I sincerely hope that you've enjoyed all these Warzone tips brought to you by General Jeff. We're really looking to grow this channel to 10,000 viewers by the end of the year. So if you would, I'd appreciate it if you could like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share, tell your friends, all that other stuff. It would be much appreciated. Like I said, 10,000 viewers by the end of the year. That's all we're trying to do. We put a lot of work into these videos. We really want to make all y'all a lot better Warzone players because there's a lot of sweats out there. We're only going to take them down if we work together, and we're only going to get better if we help each other, especially with tips like these that I guarantee you did not find anywhere else on YouTube, Kick, Rumble, any of those other platforms. I really appreciate you. This is General Jeff signing out.